My future wife, they offered me money to leave you. The night I met her, I didn't know I was about to fall into a storm that would change everything. She wasn't just beautiful, she was real. The kind of person who made silence feel like music. Her laughter wasn't polished like the world I came from. It was raw, honest, unfiltered. Maybe that's why I fell for her. Maybe that's why they hated her. Her name was Aisha, a girl who worked at a small art studio near the marina. She painted sunsets that looked like prayers, and her hands always carried the scent of color and dreams. I used to visit quietly, pretending I wanted to buy a painting, but truthfully, I just wanted to hear her speak. Soft, kind, never calculating. When my family found out, the world around me shifted. My father's face turned into a wall, and my mother's words became daggers. "She's not one of us," they said. "You are a royal, a future sheikh. You can't marry a girl who paints on the street." I tried to reason. I told them she wasn't after money, fame, or the palace life. She didn't even know who I really was when we met. But they wouldn't listen. Then one night they came with an offer. My uncle sat across from me, his voice calm, his tone almost rehearsed. "Take this," he said, sliding a black envelope across the table. I didn't touch it. "What's this?" I asked. "Enough money to build a new life away from her. You'll forget her in time. This is what's best for everyone." I looked at that envelope as if it were poison. Inside was the price they had placed on my heart. I stood up slowly and said, "You think love can be bought?" My uncle smiled faintly. "In our world, everything can. But not her. Not Aisha." The next morning, I went to see her. The studio smelled like turpentine and jasmine, and she had paint on her cheek. She smiled when she saw me, the kind of smile that made the world quiet. But I couldn't hide my turmoil. "They offered me money to leave you," I said quietly. She froze, the brush in her hand trembling. "How much?" she whispered. "Enough to change a life." "And what did you say?" I said no. "Because my life already changed the day I met you." She looked at me with tears in her eyes, but she didn't cry. Instead, she smiled, a soft, brave smile. "Then be ready," she said. "Because love that defies power always comes with a price." And she was right. That night, my phone wouldn't stop ringing. My family called, messaged, sent people to the studio. They threatened to cut me off, to take away my title, my inheritance, everything that defined me. But none of it mattered. I wasn't in love with money. I was in love with a girl who painted sunsets on broken canvases and believed love was worth fighting for. Still, deep down, I knew this was only the beginning. Because when power feels threatened, it doesn't stop, it strikes. And the people who offered me money were about to offer me something far more dangerous, a choice between love and legacy. The days that followed were quieter, but only on the surface. Beneath that calm, I could feel the storm gathering. My family wasn't the kind to give up easily. And love, in their world, was a weakness. I still remember the night my father called me to his private study. The walls were lined with portraits of ancestors who ruled before me. Men of power. Men who never disobeyed. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. His silence was heavy enough to crush me. "She will destroy everything you've been raised to protect," he said, his eyes never leaving mine. "She only wants me," I answered. "Not what comes with me." He leaned back in his chair, cold and unmoved. That's what they all say, until they taste the gold. For the first time in my life, I realized my father didn't understand love, only control. A week later, Aisha's studio caught fire. The building burned before dawn, and by the time I reached her, everything she had, her paintings, her sketches, her world, was gone. She stood outside, barefoot, trembling, covered in soot and disbelief. When she saw me, she didn't cry. She just said, "They did this, didn't they?" I couldn't answer. But she knew. I took her hand and said, "Come with me. We'll start again somewhere far away." She smiled through the smoke. "You don't belong far away. You belong to a world that doesn't accept me." That broke me more than the fire ever could. Over the next few days, rumors began to spread. Newspapers hinted that I was involved with a girl of ordinary background. They said she used me for fame. Social media exploded with lies, and yet every night, Aisha stayed calm, as if her silence itself was a rebellion. But my world was collapsing. My family froze my accounts. My friends stopped answering my calls. Even the palace guards began to follow me, not to protect, but to watch. Then came the message that shattered everything. It was a single text from an unknown number. "Meet me tonight. The truth about Aisha." Against my better judgment, I went. The address led me to an empty parking lot near the docks. My cousin Rashid stepped out from the shadows, smirking. "You shouldn't have come," he said. "Where is she?" I demanded. He held out his phone and played a video. It was Aisha, sitting at a cafe talking to a man I didn't know. They were laughing. Rashid paused the video at the right moment. Her hand brushed the man's arm. "See," he said, "she's playing you." I felt my heart drop. But something didn't add up. Aisha wasn't like that. Still, doubt, that tiny cruel seed, was planted. I left without a word. That night I didn't sleep. Her laughter echoed in my mind, twisting between love and suspicion. When I met her the next day, I was cold. "Who was he?" I asked. She blinked, confused. "Who? The man in the cafe?" Her eyes widened. "He's my brother, you fool." And just like that, guilt crushed me. She turned away. "You trusted their lies more than my heart. Maybe they